So this little Ananda thing is a new tool I'm trying out. It's like an AI meeting recorder. So essentially it can take notes, record sentiments of the meetings and all sorts of kind of stuff. So it transcribes the meeting, takes notes, adds highlights, and yeah, you can do some cool kind of things. So what the idea gave me is you can use this to you could set your notes. So you could how we're taking notes, you could literally, the AI bot could pick up what you're supposed to do as notes and put it on a Trello board, for example.
Really? It figures out which part?
I don't know. I haven't figured out how to use it exactly, but it can take notes. I just don't know you can use keywords and things to get it to do things. So you could say like a keyword note, and then it could scribe that.
I will have this done by next week.
Trying it out. It's different software. So we'll see how it goes, but it makes transcribing easy because it just does it all and it records it in the background. And then, so what I want to do is when we share, have a keyword. So it's I'll start is the keyword. And then from there, they know to cut the video at that point. And then when the next person says, I'll start, they know to cut the video at that point.
I've been kind of sort of looking into AI for writing the newsletter for sleep program. Anyway, I'm spread too thin. The course started last week, and then the challenge with LinkedIn and the website, and then the personal thing, and then the weather's been phenomenal. We went kayaking for a quick kayaking. We were on the water for over 2 hours because we're 10 degrees above what we should be for this time of year. So I'm finding I'm changed my morning schedule around, and I start with doing work, not on content, but on work. I used to first meditate, journal, do some movement, and I've gone straight to that just to get my energy going, and it's gone well. Also, I had a meeting on Friday, and the lady was saying I was doing Pomodoro 25 minutes and then 5, 25 and 5. And she said, haven't you read Jim Quick? He says it takes 45 just to get into flow. So it's got to be a minimum of an hour. And I went, that makes sense, because I was working, but I was also feeling kind of frustrated. And I thought it was just for the process. 25, it goes too quick. Yep. So I've been just working at it. I was going to try to train myself with music and have a certain length of music, but because it just flows into the next piece, that didn't work, but got a lot more done. That's been going better. Too many, they're all for one project kind of, but it's just
juggling all the pieces basically. Yeah. So can you stretch it out? For example, you got, X amount of hours. Can you stretch it out? This week, I'm just going to do X, Y, Z, and then knock that out and just, put all your energy on a main thing with the rest of it kind of in the background.
I've been kind of doing that because I didn't feel like I was progressing. And also because I was only doing the 25 minutes and I would do 2 blocks on one thing. It just didn't feel like I was progressing enough, but some excellent wins. Friday, I had a meeting. Well, and also because this course takes an hour, we'll say an hour, probably 3 hours a week. And then we also have a pod, which takes another hour a week for the accountability. And I was trying to be so strict, joining no more meetings, no more anything. And so there we go. And then on Friday, I met with a friend she wasn't still as a pediatrician, but she wants to become a coach to healthcare professionals so that they don't experience burnout, because she was pretty fine lining it for a while and not seeing her kids and all that kind of stuff, or her husband. So she's got a group, a mastermind that she's asked me to join, and they could be my ideal clients or have access to.
Yeah, good.
It's good, but it's another.
Yeah, but that's marketing.
Yeah.
That's part of your marketing, is going to these groups where you're meeting the people that you want to be serving. Yeah, you got to put yourself out there and do that. So that's kind of, you're building that relationship in person. That's the most valuable part, rather than sending random emails and shit to people who don't care who you are. You're showing up in person or video, you're definitely going to get a better connection. Yeah. So I would make space for that. Marketing, most important part of any business.
True. And I really like her. So I'm sure the people she has access to, she's a very giving person. Even in her mastermind group that she's creating, she has other coaches who want to coach healthcare professionals. And she invited them in because she respects them. And I thought, good on you, because a lot of people might like or respect the competition, but they certainly wouldn't invite them into their inner circle. But she really feels that there's enough for everybody, abundance, and everyone has their own.
It's the mindset, isn't it? Like the abundance mindset. There's enough work for everyone.
And she also asked me for a video for this week. So that's also been a little sideline, because she wants to show people, and it should be for tomorrow. So I'm working on the script, and so that kind of sidelined things. So that's really good. Those two things are my wins. Plus, I find I've been trying to research LinkedIn, and I couldn't seem to understand what to do or who to follow. I was looking at people, found the guy last night who I really like. His courses are short. When he teaches, I saw some of his things. He comes in, teaches, explains why, this is what you do, A, B, C, and he's out. So, and looking at his website, and then Marie Forleo, I thought I signed up for a freebie masterclass for her for time. She's got a new course out, and I heard that the masterclass was good. Tried to sign up, for whatever reason, didn't go through. Was looking at her webpage. It goes on and on and on and on. Her sales page, and I thought, no, that's just not me. We'll just go over here. So I feel really good about that. I'll have a LinkedIn. The course is only 2 hours long, but his reviews are 4.98 out of 5 over 7,000 people. I feel like I've got that. I'm moving ahead with the marketing, and the digital course is moving ahead because I'm taking a course and because I've got the accountability to push me forward. So,
okay, so you're making progress. Awesome.
Yes. I keep thinking at some point this will all come together, and then we'll really go, because it feels like just slow on all little baby step sides, but it's coming.
Yeah, that's a little bit step by step. You build brick by brick, you build a house. Cool. So for this week, what's your thing?
To finish the LinkedIn program, I think would give me my most bang for my buck. I commit to completing the LinkedIn class. We'll see if Ananda picks this up in the note taking for next week.
Okay, cool. And you can see, so you can also see the notes. You should have access to it. So everyone gets an email to the transcription, and you can go into Meet and look at it. I don't know what access it gives you, but try it out. Let me know. See if you can see stuff, what you can see.
Yeah, I'm wrapped up. That was me complete with a bow. It was a good week, and it'll just head down working or enjoying the weather. That's it. That's my life.
What's happening with your website? On ClickUp, I seen you move the thing to progress, and I was like, what progress?
Oh, did I? Yes. I don't even know I did that. There's no progress. I think I'm sorry.
There's no information whatsoever, but you're like, I'm making progress. Don't worry about it.
I didn't even know I did that. Obviously, I don't know how to use ClickUp.
I mean, the other option I was thinking as well with Charlotte, I just did Slack, and Slack might be easier to use than ClickUp, because ClickUp's like a project management tool, whereas Slack is just like conversation as another option.
I'd like to learn to use ClickUp, because eventually I need to learn how to do that. It's not how my brain works, but it's how I need to learn how to work. I need to understand it, even if it doesn't normally work that way. So no, just suffer through and unprogress me. I don't even know how I progress, so just unprogress me.
Okay, I'll fix that.
And how is it related to what you're doing?
So I'm helping with the VAs to build. I'm using ClickUp, and I'm helping to build. The VA is going to be building her funnel or a web page or whatever, because that's the tool I use to manage them. So that's like easier. So with the note taker, like what I want everyone to do is say, I'll start before you start, because then we know when you start. And what should happen once I figure out is, when it says I start, you can trigger an event or a highlight, and it can literally share that section to a Trello board or to Slack, or you can do stuff. So it's like all fancy. So essentially what I'm trying to do is, when you say I start, it sends a Slack notification to the group where the VAs can see it, and then they know, hey, that's when I've got to start recording or cropping that video section. That's the ideal. Hasn't worked yet, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but that's the goal. So I'll start now. This week, I had my interview yesterday for the third round of the thing. And basically they loved what I did, which was cool. Their feedback was they loved the app. They loved how thorough I was in the testing. Basically, I did the most tests out of all the people they've seen, and the design of the app they also liked. So essentially, they're not guaranteeing the job, but the word I got was, if I've got a job there, they're just deciding if they want me on the tester thing or on the design thing. So the goal is the design, because it's like a junior tester, and the goal was to be a tester for like 6 months and then go to the junior designer. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like it's all in the getting on the developing side of things. That's the main goal. But it's cool that they're like, okay, which one? They're like kind of fighting because they're two different departments. I want him. So it's an interesting situation. But it shows I was doing something right, which was cool. I also started a Ruby. So in ClickFunnels, I started a Ruby group. So Ruby is the coding language I'm using to build the apps. So I started a group in ClickFunnels to find out, if there's anyone interested. So I've got 25 people who are interested in learning Ruby. I'm kind of organizing them into groups, kind of like I want to put them into groups like this, like into teams of people learning, so they have the accountability as they go along. That I got so many people. I was expecting maybe 1, 2, but 25. Okay. So we'll see how many actually stick at it, because it's not like, it's like, oh, a new thing, but it's then who's going to commit to actually learning the thing and going through the stuff. So at the moment, they're picking the courses. There's like free ones, there's paid ones, and then putting them into groups and teams, and going to go from there. And then the other thing I did was with meetups, I started a software group, and I got 50 people or 45 people over the weekend. I don't know. It's interesting. I didn't even create like an event. I just put like the thing up there, like, hey, let's talk about software and marketing your software and getting it out there. And that's going to lead. The idea is to build apps for people. So find people that need apps building and either build them for free, like, and document the journey, or get paid apps as we go along and do that. Or for these new people that are learning Ruby, once they get to a certain level, we can give them apps. So like hey, I want an app, and you can do like a free app, because they're learning, and you can do a free app, your first app for free, so you can get the experience and you can get a kind of win-win, if that makes sense. No?
What are they using the apps for?
Your business. Like you got a business and I want an app that does whatever.
You're going to build them for them, or what?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Give them the apps. Yeah.
So like, say you're a gym owner and you're like, hey, I want an app that does X, Y, Z. Then I would go to this group and say, who wants to build a gym owner's app?
Ah, nice.
Whatever the niche, whatever the thing. It's like the point is these people get their app, like a demo, like an MVP of the app. And these people, the builders get practice building a real life app and use it in skills that they've learned.
When you said so that they'll get an app, they get the requirements to build an app that they will then build, right?
Yeah. So they'll set like that. You work out a like MVP or a scope. You'll scope the app, like, or the software. Like I want it to do this thing, and then you give it to the developers or the junior developers or learners, whatever, and then they will build that thing and just work out,
Let me know if you need someone, because building an app is on for my, not right now, but for later, so that they can track their sleep habits, the must-dos that would like to do, the eventually, and just to track and things like that. So
I can put you on the list. I'm going to build a form and then like have a registration form and stuff. But that's definitely something, because that's a big. So there's a site called Free Code Camp, which is anyone wanting to learn to code. You can go there and learn all the basics. And it's like he's been doing it for years, and he does like everyone chips in to make the curriculum, and then at the end of it, he puts them into teams and gives them the project. So it's similar to what he's been already in. So the structure is tested. This is just me kind of accidentally putting it together.
And why are you doing it? What's your why?
For me, it's so I'm going to be part of the group. So I'm going to be teaching. So for me, it's teaching, creating videos, and learning like how to learn to teach. So I'm going to develop my knowledge of Ruby better, because now I'm forced to teach it or help people. So the more like, in the group, they're going to be asking questions about certain things or whatnot. So it's upping my level of experience by helping people achieve, that result as well. And it's also fun. I like creating things and systems essentially. Like this is like a cool little system. Like, oh yeah, put that there, that goes there, and then that can do the thing. And at the end of the day, like there's a shortage of developers. So this is creating the future. Essentially, at some point, I'm going to move from junior to normal developer, and these is creating like the next generation of developers in ClickFunnels. So that would be the goal. And got one person on the group who's like got 5 years plus experience in Rails. So I've got one developer, and I want him to ideally give open Q&As on teaching. Like they can, and you can come in and you can ask a question about the software, and he can go, or the code, and he can do a demo or just help you. Because that's probably the biggest issue, is finding someone who can help in experience. Because I got a little bit, but nowhere near as much as him. Yeah, I'm still digging around and finding stuff. That was my week. That was finished the project and done those couple of things.
Is anything happening with the food app?
That's still there. That's been the goal, is to finish. So for ITU to finish the first demo. Because I noticed just by doing this group, I created that same problem. Now I've got 25 people and I got to put them into groups depending upon their times that they're available and what trainings they're doing. So I accidentally created the same problem in a mini version, which was cool. So the goal is to solve that problem. So I've already started. So I built the test app for this interview, and now I've started changing it to suit this problem instead. So the goal is to finish, because that's a much smaller problem than the Spot My Food app, which is then coming back around. I can start on it again. It's been a couple of months since I've actually been able to do anything on the thing.
So you're creating an app to organize the group?
Yep.
It's a developer.
Yeah. So it's an app by application. I mean, web app as well. It's not like a phone on your phone. Basically, you make the web app and then you plug something in and it goes on these things. But the focus is just getting the web app. That's like the ground floor. And then you can go on Android and iOS. And
if you could tell me the group for the Ruby, it's for Ruby, the 20 or the 45, the 25. I don't know, you have so many people. The one is a meetup, and what is the other group, and how did you bring them together?
So the Ruby group is all ClickFunnels employees. Yeah. Oh, okay. So they have a community channel where they're like, you can post different stuff, and they're like, hey, who wants to do this thing? And gave them a form, and those people filled out. So once I put them into groups, I'm going to do a meetup group for other Ruby people in meetups as well, to plug them in to see if I can get outsiders in, whoever wants to learn, growing the group basically. So that's kind of one section. And then the other section is the software section, which is a London-based group. I figured London is big enough to have lots of people. Yeah, that's about building apps and what are people doing and marketing apps and that type of stuff. Having fun.
How's it all going to work when you start with ClickFunnels? Are you going to be able to juggle everything?
Yeah, pretty much. It's the same. Like, it's at the start, it's going to be more, it's a change. So it's going to take more energy. So I'm going to have less energy for other things, but it's still the same 40 hours. So it's still similar. It's just the change is going to be the hardest part. And instead of spending 10, 20 hours, of coding like on my own, now I can do it 40 hours during the week. So that's how you essentially master a skill. Yeah, do it more. So I can kind of drop. If I wanted to, I can drop the coding outside, so not so much, and then do other things outside instead of just the coding. So it's a juggle. I'll figure it out. And then the other one is I had a chat with this chick who wants me to be the director of digital for her thing. And she's got contacts in like Google and like all these big companies that she's trying to do workplace wellness. And she wants to see if I can do the tech side of it, basically. Again, I don't know how much time that'll take. We'll see. But that's like, she's definitely like, hey, what do you want? When can we do it? Let's go. So the momentum, like my capacity has grown this year since I've been doing the yoga, the Wim Hof, the meditations, like these things. Like in the morning, I take kind of 2 hours every morning to kind of do that thing first. And that's like, no matter what, I'm doing something. And then from there, it's throughout the day, I'm having breaks in the midday and then also doing something before I go to bed. Like my energy capacity is much greater. Like I have much more energy, like just full stop to do stuff.
Are you using the breathing technique?
Yeah. So the breathing, Wim Hof breathing, and so you do the breathing, and then I jump in the ice bath, and then I do the stance to kind of keep warm.
Oh, I don't know the stance.
Yeah. It's basically feet wide, and you just squat and you just go back and forth to keep the heat up.
Does it have to do with the right and left side of the brain? Like
no, it's more because you're squatting, you're using those like calf and leg muscles they're making the adrenaline go through and keep your body warm. One weird thing is when you do that, and you know how you look up there, like to trigger the mind, like the third eye or whatever up there. When I do that, while doing that, it's like flashing. I don't know, maybe it's the adrenaline or something, but it's like super weird. It's like kind of like that REM state, like how your eyes flash. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, actually, I use that technique for putting people into trance. You put your eyes up and you'll go into alpha very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. But doing that while doing the horse stance or after the ice bath, I don't know what it is. It's different. It's completely different.
So I've been doing the counting down from 100 to begin my meditation. I haven't noticed a difference yet, but it's only been 10 days or.
Have you felt your state change or not? Like,
no, not yet.
When are you doing it?
I was doing it first thing in the morning, and I did it first thing this morning, but no, I didn't. I worked first, even this morning. So I'm still moving around my morning routine to try to find something that's more flowing, more that feels like, yes, this feels good.
Yeah, it may take a bit of practice to get to that spot. And like so in December, hopefully, I've been waiting all year for this like brain thing, like headphones that measure your brain waves. So you can actually make sure, like you can measure your state and your heart, like it measures your brain waves, but also your heart rate, and to get it to a certain level and stuff. It's quite cool. So I'll be checking to see what state I can actually get myself in. Like you can check if you can get gamma waves or whatever, which is the ideal state you're supposed to go for. And it's instant feedback, which is kind of a cool tool that I'm like, it's been delayed. So hopefully Christmas.
I've got a question for you about cold, because I was, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was getting into cold and doing the cold showers and stuff. Yeah, I stopped suddenly because something happened, but I still wanted the whole thing of cold. And so what I did is we have cold winters. And so I have a dress thing. So I haven't even worn a winter coat for 2 years. And I'm outside at least an hour a day. Even if it's minus 30, if there's extreme weather warnings, I will put something on my head. And like I have an actual, I just look at the temperature, go, okay, this is what I'm wearing for that temperature. But then I thought I heard, I meant to check again, Huberman say that it's short bursts, that doing a long one, he didn't say doing a long one might not be helpful, because how many people would stay in an ice bath for an hour? They wouldn't. My walks are an hour. They don't impact me at all now. Like I used to come home and feel chilled. Now, not at all. I look at people in coats, but now I don't know if it's doing any good. Like, do I need to go down a layer? Do you have any idea about
what are you trying to achieve?
Mostly help my immune system. I've got very poor immune system.
Have you found it's helped?
I never get sick, I just don't. However, because I had a parasite for the bulk of my life, I had all these health quirks, and it was only caught 18 months ago. And he said, I've got damage to everything. He said, it's just everything. And now my kidneys are having issues, and we can't figure it out. We just know that the numbers are dropping. And so I'm trying to do everything to stay healthy while we figure things out. And winter's coming, and that's what I did before, but I'm trying to intensify anything that's good to support my body while we're figuring out how to heal it.
So it's kind of listening to your own body. That's essentially the gist of it. So if you're okay doing it at that level, see if you can increase it a little bit, go a bit longer, and kind of adjust it, because your body's adapted. So you can still, you want to, like the adversity, increase it a little bit. And that may be like short, like do you wear like a short sleeve so more skin's exposed, or something like that? Because there's a guy, for example, in the Wim Hof group who he runs every morning, but he basically runs until his body goes, oh, that's enough. And then he's like, oh, I've got to go back now. And that's what it's kind of, I'm learning as well, essentially the ice bath. It's like how, like when I get out of the bath, how long, like when it was hot, I didn't have to have a hot shower, like, and my body would just adapt. Like I could just go the whole day, but now I find I need to have at a certain time, my body's like, oh, I've got to be warm now. So that's when I've got to jump like that. That's when I have a hot shower to basically warm up. So it's kind of finding that limit where you're listening to your body and going, oh, that's me. Because that's what your body's telling you. And that's the best like medicine or, thing for you. Other people could go longer, shorter, doesn't matter. It's like what your body's telling you.
I just don't want to think. I just want perfect everything. Give it to me.
So that's me. I'm done.
I guess that's me now. All right. So I told you that this last week, that on Saturday, I was going to be giving my first speech at Toastmasters for the first time in a year, any speech. And I did it. It was a research project. That was the assignment. And I did it around Steve Pressfield's The War of Art, the book. It went, I slayed it. I slayed it. I had, it's on Zoom, and I had all the comments were like, they were blown away, like how much I motivated them, inspired them. I did tie it to, my journey with my website. And I was able to sprinkle in like little business things at the same time within the teaching of the whole thing. It's interesting. I didn't have any expectation of how people would receive it per se. But I got even Shaylee, she commented, she goes, that was tremendous. It gave me chills. Some people speak and you say, oh, they spoke very, very nicely. And other people, when they speak, it's like, however she said it, but it was like, you want to march, you are motivated. And somebody called me the next day and asked me to speak at another meeting using that same speech. A couple people said, make that your signature speech.
Wow.
So, and of course I got to mention my website in there. Of course, my secret dream was everybody was going to, I know my website is not set up for heavy marketing, but at least I have a place to send people. Eventually, I'll learn or hire or figure out how to do the marketing. But of course, my secret dream was they were all going to, out of curiosity, go check it out and, look it up and call me or email me, because that's the invitation for a free call. And of course, that hasn't happened. But, the more exposure there may be, because I had two of my former clients are in that group and they were also blown away.
So at the end of it, what was your call to action?
There was no call to action because I know how to do a call to action. But I was not the guest speaker, which I have been in the past with a 20-minute speech. This was a 7-minute. Actually, I ran 8 minutes and I didn't care. It was supposed to be 7 minutes. I tried to pare it down and I said, the hell with it. I like what I've got. I can't cut anymore. And nobody's grading it. So they can't kick me off the stage. So it went 8 minutes. But what I did at the end, because I talked about what it means to turn pro and how along the journey, actually it was an external trigger with the being practitioner of the month and needing a website like yesterday. But I also learned in the process how to turn the switch from what Pressfield calls being an amateur, which is a weekend warrior where you work when you want to and you quit when things get hard. What does that mean? And then or being a pro, which requires you to break through your addictions, your bad habits, your fears, and to not wait to be inspired and to show up every single day, no matter what, and do the work and all around what's important to you. And I had a phrase in there. I actually said it was Pressfield, but it wasn't. I kind of tied it in. I said, it is the idea But basically, Pressfield puts it out there that, unless you want to get to the end of your life and look back with regret to who you could have become and what you could have done, you must choose to be go pro. And so that actually struck a lot of people. And at the very end, again, not a call to action, but this was the inspiration. I basically had told my journey, and that to turn pro is to live life on purpose and with purpose, in spite of fear and resistance. And how about you guys? Who here has a dream that they're playing amateur at, and who would like to turn pro and live the life of their dreams? So there is no call to action, because that would have been inappropriate
for that group
speech. But it did under the skin.
You could turn that into a little webinar, if you wanted to start marketing it.
Because people were saying you should put that, I did record it. They didn't record it. And they said, oh my God, you should get that up on your website.
Yeah. So essentially you invite people to a webinar, and you can use a webinar software that just automates. You can either do it once a week live and Russell recommends doing it live starters anyway. So do it once a week live on whatever, Thursday, for example, and then invite. So you get people in, you invite them, you do your little thing. And at the end you have a call to action, and the call to action is actually like a value stack, which is like, hey, to help you turn to pro, I've got this special thing where I'm going to help you, and here's what you're going to get. Bang, 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 bang. If you take action now, you get it for X, Y, Z. And the cart closes, at the end of the day.
So now I also want to ask you guys for some support. So now I had mentioned my intention was that after getting the website up and then the speech, then the next step for me, I do have to come up with my freebie, which is the funnel. I don't know why.
That's there. Like, get a free web class, free masterclass on how to turn pro.
I love you. Okay, that can be the funnel.
Yes,
that can be the funnel.
Like, it's a free web class, so they get a free masterclass on turning pro, and then you offer them something at the end.
The next thing I said was about doing a meetup around, confidence and so on. I haven't put my focus on it, but I would like to get one up sooner than later and start.
So before you start marketing, have you got your analytics on your website?
She put Google. I don't know how to access it. I have to pay her extra to put that mousetrap or whatever. And right now I'm on a big budget. It's just
that's fine. Like, not like mousetrap is good for it's like the major one is Google and Facebook. If you can get them on your pages, then at least you can retarget. So if I go to your site, you can say everyone that's been to my site that didn't enter my web class, I want to retarget and say, hey, why didn't you enter? You're missing out. Like, you can talk to them directly and differently to someone so they're warm traffic because they already know you. Yeah. So those are the two kind of minimum requirements I'd suggest before, like, just get the analytics set up and then start your marketing.
Yeah. Now, so she did something for Google Analytics, but
Google Analytics is one, and that means you could essentially, depending on how she set it up, you could do like AdWords. So you could, someone targeting like be fearless or whatever, targeting a keyword, you can, get up the top of that keyword if you wanted to. That's, one option. Or you can do YouTube, or you could do, Facebook. They're kind of the top three.
What do you mean do YouTube and do, I don't know what you mean. So with the analytics.
So so Google Analytics is the world of YouTube and YouTube and Google. Yeah. So Google Analytics, when you put that on the page, you can essentially go to these two areas. So you can learn YouTube marketing or Google marketing. So, but the point is, get those analytics on your page now. So when you're ready to start marketing, you have a history of people going to your site and you can do something with it versus just having no information.
Well, what I'm saying is, supposedly they're there. I just don't know. Yeah, I haven't now that we're out of the beta and it's live, I have not logged in yet to
Okay.
Then
So
I have to make a change.
you want to be able to see that as a business owner. You want to be able to see your analytics. So that would be something to figure out. That's like the first step.
All right. So if I were to take the very first step, because with speed, and remember, tech is slow, a webinar is going to take time to create. That's also involves. What is the fastest thing I can be doing like this week to start marketing?
So I would sort your analytics out, make sure you can get access to it and see what you've got. Step 1. 2, set up a meetup group.
I can actually do group taster groups for this rapid transformational and for heart healing, which is actually a way to market, and even do a webinar doing that.
Yep.
That's another thing I can do.
So sign up
I haven't
for meetup.
done it yet, so I'm like,
You can just create. So for example, start a meetup, create 3 groups. For example, I've created this software group. I haven't got any meeting. I just put a name and a description. I haven't done anything and people have joined. So start those 3 groups that you just mentioned. You just like with the heart group and the other one, and that you just mentioned 2. Yeah, it was like the heart group, and what was the other one?
oh, this is perfect. Those are my 3 modalities: heart healing, rapid transformational, and fearless living. And they all work together, but they're all slightly different.
Yes. And you just have one on like Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. I have them every second week.
I love this.
And what you can do on meetups as well, which I only just figured out, you can ask them a question to join. So ask them some questions you need to know. What do you want to get out of the group? What's your biggest fear or problem that I can help you with? Like you're getting key information from the people and then you can talk to that, and that's what you do the meetings on. And then you can record the meetings. If you get MeetGeek, it'll automatically record the meetings for you. But get that, and it'll automatically record the meetings. It'll transcribe the meetings, and then you've got content for all your stuff. And you could use this. What you want is in these meetings, you're looking for aha moments, and you basically crop them and put them as ads on places.
So this MeetGeek, it records the Zoom meetings for you, and it transcribes.
Yep.
And of course, you obviously have to get permission to record.
Now the website's out the way, you can do all the other fun stuff to get people to the website.
And the most important thing is to get them to, want to book a call with me because they're interested in hiring me. And so
that's the thing. That's no longer that you're going to be your first step, because the first step is to get them in the webinar. Yeah. So that's literally, they don't have to book a call. You just want to get their contact details, get them in the webinar, and then give them an offer. That's like, and then from that offer, they've paid you, and then the paid ones can give, like, you can get on calls. You can offer as a free thing. They get as a package, they get a bonus, like one-on-one call with you.
Explain to me, I lost you when you said paid. So we're talking about the freebie webinar.
Yep. So I'm on Facebook. I see your ad. I opt in. I give you my email address. I go into your webinar room. I watch your webinar, and at the end of it, you've got a call to action,
which is to set up a call with me.
No. So, well, it can be. I would do a paid thing. So and do a value stack. So when people are joining your groups, you're finding out their problems. Those problems you're putting on your webinar on the back end as a CTA. Like you get this like call to action. You're getting this great deal. Give it a fantastic name that sounds really good. And then under it, you're solving all their problems, like this. Does that make sense? So the problems they're telling you, you're solving them on your offer. And then from there, and that's a paid thing. And you can go from like $100 to $1,000. And one of those things is a free call with you, valued at a, free fearless call, valued at like a whatever price you want to put it at. And then you stack them all up, and then that's like the total value, and they're only paying 10% of that.
The switch went on to pro in my entrepreneurism. I am a pro in my business, but in what I do. But it's like I no longer want a hobby. I really want a business, and I want to help as many people as possible. And I want to, use what I have spent countless hours learning and becoming and practicing, to help people.
Can you see?
Otherwise, what the heck am I doing?
No, but can you see? Like, I can see what you could do. Like, you kind of got all the pieces together from what we've been talking about, and you're like, you're there. You just kind of have to take the steps to get you to this spot where you could, can you see that? And now it's like, wow, it's there.
Yeah.
And then the app name, progression method, like that's the name.com. Does that progression method, does that resonate with you, or is there something better than this particular? So it's like progression is progress, step by step.
I understand,
we make,
but it doesn't strike me that way. If you're asking for the feedback.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. So that's what I mean. So what
easy progress method would something that, what is progression? Why do it needs? So
because the other, like the progress method, is that make more sense? Because I'm just looking at the names that were available. Like that's the other thing. Like the name, it needs to be free. Otherwise, I had progress.design as a kind of short and simple one. But I was looking at momentum. Momentum is getting a name with that is super hard. So I don't know if you come up with the point is, I'm just putting it out there. If you come up with a name or think of a name that kind of matches what we're doing here, because the idea of the app, it supports what we're doing.
I like the word method, because to me that means I don't have to struggle. You're going to tell me what to do and the next step, and it will just lead me forward. So I love the word method.
But can you tie it to something? So it's progress. I mean, progress in business, progress.
Whatever you're doing, you're making progress. And that's where progression.
Tasks, is it around, would tasks be progress? Or it would be more compelling if there was a word attached to it, like life progress, business progress.
Because the other one was like growth method and accountability.com or something. It's like this
really long.
Yeah, it's
I was just going to mention growth because it's one of the synonyms that came up.
And we don't have to solve it today. I was just putting it out there. And when the other guys come up, I'll ask them again, just to think on something, because it's like, what could it be called? That makes sense.
And is this the app for ITU?
No, well, yeah, this is the app that's going to be, and they may want their own thing. I don't know how it's going to work exactly. But yeah, this is the app that they're going to use, or we're going to use, or I don't know.
We'll see. It's an app for accountability groups.
Yeah, it's an app to support this. So I don't know how the end result's going to look, but we're going to enjoy the ride and see what comes out of it and how we go. But yeah, because for example, the app could be used to, if I had it now, it could be used to support the Ruby group that I'm doing. Like it's already, it doesn't matter what you're doing. The point is you want to do something. Okay, let's get organized in groups and do it.
It sounds like it's also around projects.
Yeah.
Like getting projects done, even though it can be bigger, big goals, but they're broken down to projects or tasks.
How does the word accelerate land with anybody? The acceleration method?
Maybe, yeah.
I like accelerate, but again, I want to accelerate what?
That could also be the curiosity. Like, let's go check out the website. Because you're going to it's the main thing of the domain is just to have something that it's simple and easy to remember. And then you go because they're not going to, it's just easy and simple to remember.com. That's what you're after. You're not it can be anything as long as it's easy and simple and kind of resonates. Whereas if they want more information, you go to the website and that's where you have the description and the videos or on YouTube or whatever.
With the word method, I picture it being where there's a checklist or, okay, now you do this, you've met, now you do this. Is that part of it? Because the word method to me means it's not just.
So it is, it's going to have some kind of, you set a goal and you're held accountable. So that's and you do it in teams. So there is a method to it, and the method's going to definitely develop as I figure out what the method is.
I like that word in there. It feels like a relief. This person's going to move me forward if I just do what they say. I like the word method for that reason, that I just do it. Before you came on, Charlotte, I said I found somebody for LinkedIn I like. And he said, it's not easy. It's not a quick fix. But if you keep doing these things over time, you will find the people that you want to resonate with. You will build a connection. It will be a relationship. Not quick. It's not easy as in overnight. And he said, that's not what I do. But I will give you the step by step so that over time you build relationships over LinkedIn with the people you want.
What about project acceleration method or accelerator method?
Too long. Accelerated is better. Like accelerated and method would be better. Let's have a look.
What about something though, like accelerate your life and I know I was saying I love the word method. However, it can always be changed.
Yeah, so accelerated method is taken. Accelerate method. So accelerate method is free.
The accelerate method would sound
I like shorter. Like shorter is better.
Do we really want to accelerate our lives? It sounds like speed it up.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't want to speed up my life. I just want to get there fast.
I want to accelerate success.
Reach your goals, complete your goals, expand your goals, get to
Accelerate
your goals.
success is taken. See, that's what I mean. It's hard to find something that's okay and that's free available. So that's cool. I got to go anyway. So I'm gonna keep thinking about it. If you find something, let's keep talking.
Sounds great. Have a great week,
Thank you, guys.